Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the President. An early Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody out there, and a Happy New Year. Let's hope that 2022 has a lot of good things in store for all of us, our students, our faculty, our staff, our alums, all of you. I think we all deserve a good year. So I don't know if Santa can get that down the chimney, but let's let him try. So it's a happy time at Eastern, of course. Graduation is always one of our happiest days, and everybody was on their best behavior. We were back in Greyhound Arena. It was wonderful. Our students and faculty were masking. We had a wonderful turnout of audience. They behaved very well, tried to comply with all our masking requirements. We had about 290 students walk across the stage. Close to 500 graduated, but not all of them walk. And that was a wonderful experience. We had an absolutely great student commencement speaker, Lauren Anderson, and she was funny and smart, and it was a great speech. She gave her fellow students very good advice, including a wonderful piece of advice from one of her professors, Dr. Barlow, which was take some zinc, eat a salad, occasionally have a green chili cheeseburger and a Coke from Taco Box. And I thought, what a perfect piece of, advice for students. There were some other things too, like, wear your seatbelt. I thought that was a good one too. Anyway, it was a wonderful experience. We had a great time. But that wasn't all that was going on in December and the end of November. So I want to tell you a little bit about those too. We had a wonderful event in the music building where we dedicated or named a percussion room in honor of Mrs. Silva Pierce Compton. Now, if you know the name, if the name Compton sounds sort of familiar to you, well, that family was very, very intimately involved in the founding of Eastern, and Mr. Compton served on a very early board of regents. So his daughter, Miss Pierce, came to Eastern in 1940. She was a music major, vocal performance, but she also played instruments and loved percussion. Well, she subsequently left when she married Benjamin Lee Compton, who then went to war, and then they were away from campus. But she returned to campus and got her degree in 1947. This is such a great story. And played band and percussion when she was in the WACs. And when she came back to school, she played also and also sang in the Eastern Choir and various performing groups. So she was just a wonderful guest. She was 100 years old. So everybody sang happy birthday. They scheduled some nice performances by students in the music building, had a nice lunch for her. And she promised to come back for her 200th birthday. And I thought, good for her. If anybody can pull it off, I'll bet she can. Anyway, that was a lovely event. We love having alums come back, and my gosh, she was sharp as a tack and talked to all the students. It was just a wonderful experience. Another event that was a very happy one for all of us to be able to do in person was the Pops concert. This is our traditional November opportunity to honor our friends at Cannon Air Force Base, and our Wind Symphony and our student ensembles perform. It's a dinner and music. I know a lot of you know the Pops, but it was a wonderful event, and we could not do it last year because of COVID, but it was so nice to be able to schedule it again and have everybody in the ballroom. And we were so excited. We had balloons, and so put helium in the balloons, and Friday night they all looked great. Saturday morning they were all down. So the crack staff at Campus Life in the ballroom, they aired them all up again and put them in place for us so that when we came Saturday, to set up the final little arrangements at 6 o'clock, those balloons were right up there because they'd done it for us. So thanks to Ray Koss and his team who didn't even call me, just did it. And I really appreciated that. That was so nice. And then just to finish out the music ensemble, the holiday concert was just a wonderful showcase of all the music ensembles and choir ensembles, all performing in the Campus Union Ballroom. And beautiful event, big community turnout, and we had cake and hot cider afterward. Huge hit, huge. I mean, beyond anything you could believe. But we ran out of cake. So I was thinking, like, what? We're out of cake. Well, we cut the pieces too big. So I said to the people from Sodexo who were working with us, we're out of cake. It was like, it was like Cana, and the marriage. And I said, like, we're out of cake. What can we do? And they said, oh, I think we've got another cake in the back. They brought out another huge layer cake. We ate the whole thing. Everybody went home happy. So I just share these little incidents about how Eastern gets along and helps each other out. And when we are a little short on something, there's always somebody who's going to step in and give us a hand. And if that isn't the holiday spirit, I don't know what is. So
we had Dan Brown just comment that he said that you hosted him and his wife Lisa Brown at the Pops concert in 97 or 98.
Well, Dr. Brown and Mrs. Brown, how wonderful. Yes, that was a wonderful memory. Dr. Brown was a new faculty member. And, of course, I liked Lisa a lot. And so I thought, like, oh, they should come to the Pops. And I'm so glad you did. Thank you for remembering that, Dan. That was a very nice event for all of us. And I wish we could all come back and do it again. Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe we can next year. Let's think about it. You're not that far away. I mean, Lamar, it's not far. Just a state away. That'd be great. So Pops was great. The holiday concert, we had a wonderful time. I want to also tell you something about KENW. As you know, KENW is very community oriented, and they do some wonderful programs sponsoring local businesses and legacy businesses. One of them is the Flying J. I think it's called Chuck Wagon, but anyway, you know where it is. It's outside Ruidoso on the way up to Alto. They have wonderful events, nightly performances, and they've been doing it for decades. So KENW contacted them and said, well, we'd like to do a special on you because you're so well known in the area. I mean, everyone knows Flying J. So they filmed this, they broadcast it on KENW, and then Flying J wrote an email to Mr. Ryan, the director of KENW, and said, thank you so much. We've never been, nobody's ever done this for us before, and it was such a great program. And if any of your staff want to come, it's free. Dinner's on us. And I just thought that was, again, such a nice holiday gift for something that we really wanted to do to showcase them. So, again, I think that just shows that universities have to be more than just places where people earn GPAs. It has to be a force. It has to be a part of its community, and it has to give back to that community. And when it does, that community gives back to us. And you're all examples of that, I know, but it's always gratifying and I wouldn't say surprising, but very gratifying when people respond so warmly and kindly to Eastern and to our students, not just with their financial support, but with this personal kind of outpouring and support. Very nice. And one other thing I'm going to mention, athletics is back, of course, and they're competing and they're loving it, and people come to the arena, and of course the football team had a very good showing and good, fan support. But this week we're going to do one of the most fun things you have ever experienced, and it's the youth game. which doesn't mean the youth play. It means they just come for free. So all the local schools will send students on Thursday, and our women's and men's team are going to play. But all the school children from all around Dora and Elida and Melrose and Floyd and Portales, of course, Clovis maybe too, and they all come and they all sit in the stands and they're all wearing, T-shirts from their school. And usually Don Thomas, my kind of favorite game announcer, he will say, well, what do you think, Floyd? And they'll say, like, yeah, they're all cheering up there. And the team goes over and waves at them, and they just have a great time. They get pizza, Coke. I'm sure they go back and they're just high on life, but the teachers come too, and we have a really nice opportunity to just give them a little break. They're in the nice, safe Greyhound Arena. Many of them have been there before. It's just a little way that we say, it's free, just come, let them watch a game and, have a little fun with you, and everybody has lunch, and then we, go back to work for the remaining days before the holiday break. So I'm really looking forward to that, which is this week, and all the events of the holiday season that we've experienced have been great. And now we move into the family time. And I hope all of you do have that time with your family and your friends to celebrate the holidays in any way you wish. Maybe you make a snowman out of untoasted cornflakes. That's what they use in film, untoasted cornflakes. Sounds really dreadful, but I guess it looks a lot like snow. And whatever you do and however you do it, I hope it's just a joyful and peaceful and restful holiday. So I know that some of you might have questions or comments that you want to. If you do, please put them in the chat line and John will tell me what they are. Meanwhile, I'll tell you we're getting ready for spring registration. Spring, of course, registration has already started, and some of our students have already registered, which is great. We love that. We have some new transfers coming in. Actually have some students starting in January, which is wonderful. We're happy to have them back. But some students wait until they get their final grades, which they should have by now, and then they register, just in case something went awry, and then they can retake that class or rearrange their schedule in some way. But we hope they are getting ready for January. We like them to get that schedule set, and then when they come back, they don't have to worry about anything. Classes are all set. They can just go to class. We'll be starting after Martin Luther King holiday. So we'll have our usual march with the city from the Memorial Building to the campus. And that's always a lovely event, usually at dusk. It's usually freezing, but it's fun. You walk with people so it's great. And then the rest of the week, the Faculty Senate Ad Hoc Committee and some other groups on campus have set up some really great events memorializing Martin Luther King and his contribution to his civil rights legacy and his legacy of nonviolence. So there'll be educational programs, there'll be fun programs, and there'll be, I think, a great opportunity to recognize a great American and a very important period of our history. The 60s were, for many people, very controversial, divisive, not unlike today. And we survived that with the help of some really incredible people. And one of them was Dr. Martin Luther King. So we need to celebrate that and move on into the new year with the promise of better things to come. So what else, John? What else is going on around campus?
I think we can mention people are looking for holiday gifts. We have some great Greyhound products out there right now that help support scholarships.
We do. We can find a way to support scholarships and make you happy. Promise. So one way, Greyhound Grind, that's our coffee blend, partnering with Landell's, which is Landell's wonderful on his his coffee shop is wonderful. But the Greyhound grind's very popular, and you can get it in fine or French roast or fine grind or regular grind or the beans themselves. That's a lovely Christmas stocking stuffer. And then what is Christmas without salsa? And Taco Box has partnered with us, and it's available on their shelves. I think also in local stores, but you can also find it online. Uh, and it's a medium. It's not too hot, not too mild. It's just perfect. But our newest acquisition to the family of supporters for Eastern are two wines, a white and a red. Now, the red is not quite ready, but our wonderful partner, Enchantment Vineyards in Portales, is bottling a lovely red blend for us, and that should be ready very soon. Luscombe's Valley is bottling a white wine for us. It's carbonated. We're all becoming sommeliers now. We all say things like, oh, yes, there are hints of peach and, delicate flavors of, fruit. We don't know what we're talking about, but, they write this up for us so that we know what we're talking about. And Luscombe's Valley, I think in Albuquerque, you can get that at their stores. It's available now, and it will be more widely available in a couple of weeks. So I look forward to your having the opportunity to buy some lovely white and red wine. And the names of those wines, if you need to go in and ask for it, it's Eastern Sunrise for the white and Sunset for the red. Isn't that lovely? Named by one of our, I guess, is he an alum?
Yeah.
An alum named this. It was part of a huge competition to name the wine. And oh my, we got some really crazy, wild names. We're going to keep them all and maybe use them later. But Sunset and Sunrise was so lovely. And labels were designed for these by Brian Hahn, who works in our communication services office, and he's an alum. So it's got a real Eastern feel to it, and we hope you enjoy that. If you ever have any questions about where to find that, you can email me and I can send you more information. But the wine is just emerging. The other products are out, and we do encourage you to support scholarships in any way you'd like. But this is a nice, easy way because a portion of that cost goes directly to scholarships.
The only other comment we had was from a Janine Gaspin saying that she played in the orchestra under Dr. Welker.
Oh,
and
did you?
She loved the string program, the music department, lots of good memories.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Dr. Welker, of course, was one of the most accomplished, not only cello players, but director of the symphony, and such a quiet, unassuming man, and so talented. And his wife, Miriam, taught for us too. So what a wonderful family, what a wonderful legacy. And thank you for sharing that memory. Yes, string program really was awesome in its days. It's a shame that so many schools dropped strings, but kind of the sign of the times. So glad you remember that. What a wonderful memory.
And that's all we have for questions.
Hey, good. Well, I'll just tell you that the president's house, was renovated. Oh, I don't know, that pesky substance called asbestos. They don't like you to live in a house that has that, so we had to abate that. And then we did a little renovation of heating and cooling. Some wires that were just sort of out there, we stubbed them out and made it a lot safer. Didn't have to do anything to the backyard. We re-roofed, but our insurance company paid for that because it was hail damaged. And so the house is getting ready, and I look forward, if you're in town, to giving you a tour. It's not ready yet. We haven't taken complete occupancy, but we will very soon. So the president's house will be back in business as it has since, I guess it was, I'm not sure which president was the first to live there. Was Dr. Matheny maybe the first? Certainly, Dr. Armstrong lived there anyway. It'll have a new look and new paint job, and that's your house too, you know. So I hope you will be able to come to some reception or some event that will be hosted there or in the backyard. Well, that's about all we've got now. And gosh, I'm not going to talk to you for a whole year, but we'll talk again in January. If there's anything Eastern can ever do for you or that I can do for you, enmu.president@enmu.edu. Love to hear from you, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have some nice hot coffee and maybe a gingerbread cookie to get through the morning. Thank you for your time and happy holidays.